What you doing? Ooh, turn around and slow it down. Let's show these people what we do.
For this tutorial, you'll need about 4 yards, and I already had something made out of this fabric, but I took it apart because I was over that dress. So that's why it's this deep V cut right here. And I'm actually just gonna cut this part off because I'm gonna use this for the pockets that are gonna come pretty soon. So I'll just cut this part off, and I'm not really caring about how I'm cutting it. And for those of you guys who watched my last video on how to make a summer dress, you know I sew on my bed because I don't have a table as big as I would like it, which is probably why I have all these cuts in my comforter, but I'm not gonna get a new one because I'm just gonna cut it up. It's no point. The fabric I'm using is a 4-way stretch knit, so it's very stretchy and forgiving. It's not gonna be so tight to where there's no movement, and it's gonna be very comfortable. And what I just did was use a shirt that fits me really well, and I'm going to use this as a pattern, and then I have leggings that fit me really well. I'm going to use these as a pattern as well. I'm just going to be using these as a guide, but the way that I am going to shape it is really what's going to make the jumpsuit really stand out. So watch as I cut. Hey, Kaden.
Hey.
So watch as I cut this. I'm going to show you guys how to make it with that drape pattern. What I did here was cut the middle portion at the bottom to the upper crotch area and back down, and I cut this side. Hopefully you guys can see the shape really well as to how I cut this, but I went all the way around, and like I said, I pretty much free-handed it because I know the shape that I want in my mind. And then I went over for the sleeve, and then I just cut the fold open. This is the fold of the fabric, so I just cut the fold open. I didn't cut anything off. And now what I'm gonna do is flip it over and cut the other side and show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so this is what it looks like folded over and with the other half cut off. And hopefully you can use this shape as a guide for your pattern piece. If you don't want to use other clothing, you can just handcraft a pattern. And I know I told you guys I would make a video on how to make pattern pieces, and I promise I'm gonna do that. I just have to get more of the paper that I use. I don't think I really like it, but that's another conversation for another day. So I'll show you guys what I use instead in another video. But yeah, this is the pattern, and now I'm going to show you what it looks like open and then show you the next step. This is what it looks like opened up. So now I'm going to show you how I do the neckline, and then we're going to cut the bottom for the cuffs and the pocket. Okay, so here I have the front piece. I separated it from the back. You guys, I can't tell you how many times I've had 2 layers on top of each other and have cut the back and the front at the same time, moving too fast, trying to sew quick. So make sure you take the bottom away from the top and fold it in half for your neckline. Now what I did was measured it from the top of my shoulder, which is here, to how deep I wanted it to go, which actually I wanted it to be at 11 inches, but of course you guys know once you hem, it's gonna be a little bit larger. So I'm only going to make it 10 since I want it to go to 11. And I do want it to drape off of the shoulders a little bit, so I have it here. If you want to drape more, you can move it onto this side. And if you really want it more like a closer neckline, then you can move it more over here. But this is just where I want it. And so that's going to be 10 inches down and from here, it's about 6.5 inches, just so you got. Now I'm going to take these scraps that I've had left over that I cut in the beginning of the video and make my pockets. So basically what you want to do is put your hand down, and then you're going to cut around the size of your hand, and I'll show you what that looks like now. As you guys can see, this is what it looks like. That's about the size of it, and I'm going to use this one, place it here, and then cut out the second pocket. 2 pockets here, as you can see, and I did cut it on the fold. So now what I'm going to do is just cut this end open, and I'm going to show you how to attach it to the jumpsuit. The bottom of the jumpsuit is about 5 inches. Yeah, y'all can't see that because that's upside down. Okay, and so I made the cuffs an inch shorter. I made them 4x4 because you want the cuffs to be a little bit smaller, and then when you sew it, you can stretch it out, and I'm going to show you guys that process as well. But I went ahead and just made both of my cups 4x4, and now I'm going to show you guys. So I pinned everywhere that we are going to sew. We're not going to sew the pocket area. I just have that here just so you can see where the pockets are actually going to go, but we're going to leave that open for right now. We're just going to sew around all the way to the bottom. We're going to sew all the way up here to the crotch area and down, and then we're going to sew all the way up to the side. Skip the pocket area, sew around the waist on both sides, and then for the top, see if you guys can see that, we're just going to sew about 2 inches from the top of the shoulder on over, just right here, and we're going to do that on both sides, and then I'm going to show you guys the next step. I'm going to use a standard zigzag stitch, which is 2.5, 3.5. You can use whatever stitch your machine suits you better. I have a Project Runway Brother, so that's the one I always use for this stretch jersey knit. But again, you can use whichever one suits you. Okay, here I have it sewn on the sides that I showed you guys, and it's flipped right sides out, so you can see where I've sewn it. And what I did here with the pockets was I pinned it, and yes, you are seeing right, it is pinned right side out, because after we sew it, we're going to flip it on the inside so that you have a clean finished garment. And then I also did the same thing on the other side, and again, that is right sides out, and I have it pinned on both sides. Do not sew it closed. What you're going to do is sew each side. So you're going to start with sewing this, and then after that you're going to sew down right here. And I did make it a little big, so I'm going to sew this shut on the inside just to make sure my pocket is closed, and I'm going to do the same on this side just to make sure there's no opening on the curve. And of course, you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side with the other pocket. And down here I have the cuffs. I have them, again, they're 4x4, and I have them pinned where we're going to sew down on the sides. And then after I go sew on the sides and sew the pockets, I'm going to show you guys. Alright, so here's what it looks like, right sides together on the inside with open sides out. And as you can see, I went ahead and attached one of the cuffs just to show you guys what it looks like. Now when you do attach the cuff, you're going to turn it out with the right sides facing outwards and attach them with the folded side down and the open side at the top. And you're basically going to pin it around and attach it with the seams to the sides like this here. If you guys, hopefully you guys can see how I've attached it right here. Alright, and another thing you want to do is pin your pockets, and I pinned it where we're going to sew around the edges and even around that little curve area to connect the pocket to the side of the pants. Now over here I've already done it just to show you guys what it should look like on the inside. So I sewed all around this part to completely close up the pocket. Don't sew here. Again, do not close the pocket, but sew all around this edge portion. So next I'm going to do this pocket, and then I'm going to flip it again right sides out and add the cuff this way, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like. And then the last thing to do is hem the neckline. I'm not going to hem the sleeves because I want it to have this dangly effect to where it's open, and because it's jersey you don't have to hem it because it's not going to tear on you, but if you would like to, you can. I just wanted to have this loose look here and have it open at the sleeve, so I'm just gonna leave that part open and just hem the neckline.
Thank you to my beautiful model Satia for helping me with this project. If you like this look, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials coming soon. Thank you.